Folks, how you doing this morning? Again, coming to you from a New York hotel as we spend our last full day in New York, hanging with family, going to see our daughter. But as always, we got to talk about the financial news of the day, the financial news worth tracking, trying to understand what's going on in the markets and how it could impact real estate investing. So first off, we got to jump into the trade war. As we've seen the last 3 or 4 days, we've had generally positive tones where, I think it was China first went in and basically added 16, U.S. based agricultural products to the exempt list. We then delayed the next round of tariffs. And again, it feels like we're going to a resolution. And, I'm sure it's going to be difficult. I'm sure there will be a lot more ups and downs for us. But it generally feels like the two leaders, the two countries want to get something done. They're obviously going to want to save face. They're obviously going to want to feel like they've, done something by this, 15 or 18-month thing. But, here's to hoping we're closer to the end of this thing than the middle. And if that's true, this could be net positive and really keep this economy, world economy, frankly, going. So that's where we'll start. Next up is the Fed. The Fed actually meets tomorrow. Uh, if you followed, I don't know when I did it. I might have done it Sunday, where I actually proposed that the Fed is in a tight spot, given inflation was running hot. Retail sales were running hot. That they'd be in a very tough spot. I think this oil attack actually helps them. It will be interesting to see if they make reference to that because obviously we've seen an oil spike here in the last 48 hours or so, and it will likely stay high for some time. I do believe, unless there's a counterstrike, that it will be a blip on the longer term radar. But I could see the Fed saying, hey, we want to give some cushion. We understand that transportation and all these very gas and oil heavy industries will need to share the costs and pass them on. So I could see them actually making reference to that. Without this, I think a Fed cut would have been hard to do. Right, they're supposed to keep inflation in check, which was running hot, and then there was a general impression the consumer was doing poorly, and everything indicates that they're not. Right, retail sales, unemployment, all these other things. So, um, I think this tragedy or this event in Saudi Arabia gives Powell just enough of an excuse to lower rates. I do expect him to come over the top and say, "Hey, we're done for a while." Right? He will quote unquote be hawkish. I think 3 or 4 weeks ago, the general chatter was we were going to see 4 more rate cuts during 4 more meetings. And if inflation and retail sales keep doing what they're doing, there's no chance of that, at least very little chance. Back to the strike that happened over the weekend in Saudi Arabia. I've seen some of the pictures. I don't know if you have, but man, they were coordinated, right? You saw like little hits on consecutive oil, I don't know, depositories or whatever they are, but it looks like they hit exactly the same spot all over. So whoever did this was they knew what they were doing, right down to the inch, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I know, we came out and kind of said we were locked and loaded, ready to help, and now we're like, hey, wait a minute, you go be you and you protect yours and all of that. So we'll see what happens. I think a lot of this is just theater and posturing and politics. It will be interesting to see if Iran actually has capabilities to do something like this, or Yemen or any of these other places. I think who did this was a lot more technology advanced than um, maybe we would like to believe. So that could be a bigger, scarier thing going forwards. But we got to watch that. They were, yeah, surgical is the only word I can think of. Given it, I saw some pictures on like 8 oil. I don't know. I'll call them repositories. They hit the exact same spot. So they knew what they were doing. A couple other things I caught on is it looks like WeWork. This has been a pretty consistent topic of this channel because I think where I'm following them because I think the Silicon Valley based unicorns will have a huge impact on real estate. That's why I track them. There's lots of employees that were looking at paper wealth that was going to get unlocked, which would then go into real estate. I think I don't know, the flowers come off the stem. for many of them. And I think that's going to have a huge impact on Silicon Valley prices, and it's going to come down throughout 2020 and potentially down by a lot. Prices are simply unaffordable. And it looks like WeWork is now delaying. You've seen this ups and downs where it looked like they were going to do it no matter what because probably needed the money. It looks like now the valuation was coming back so low that SoftBank probably is coming in and helping them limp forward. But it would not surprise me if WeWork never sees the light of day, if they get absorbed by someone or they just cash out. It's going to be interesting. And then two more things. First off, about consumer behavior. This one's about our millennials. And as you might know, or remember when we were younger, one of the things we did when the economy got shaky is we all went to the doctors, right? We wanted to make sure we had that final health checkup before an unfortunate event happened during the day, or we were let go. And it looks like millennials are doing that in record numbers. Article I read this morning is that 32%, so roughly 1/3 of millennials, have gone to visit a doctor for a checkup in the last 90 days. Again, that is nervous behavior. That is people being logical, frankly, right? Go see the doctor while you have insurance just in case. So we are seeing consumer behavior that would lead me to believe that people are getting nervous. And again, that's something I watch as a real estate investor. Consumers are the owner-occupant buyers, and when they get nervous, they typically, i.e., go see a doctor, right? That's an indicator, but they also start saving. And when they start saving, they stop spending. So these are the little signs that I look for, little breadcrumbs to see what could be happening to real estate. And this is one indicator. I would love to see other indicators going this way, but it looks like at least the millennial generation is doing some smart things, right? If we are going to go into recession and some of them might lose their jobs, they should go get checkups before that happens. So I thought that was an interesting indicator. And then the last one I caught on today is that fund managers, right? People on Wall Street, the highest percentage of them, and as I recall, it was 38%, are now worried about a recession in the next 18 months. It didn't look like they were making any strategic bets yet, growth versus value, but to see those people who are managing the purse strings and making decisions kind of thinking about that, it leads me to believe that, again, that there's a lot of people out there thinking about it. And the key about a recession in a consumer-based economy is we, the consumers, can frankly make a recession happen. If enough of us get scared and stop spending, congratulations, we created a recession. It's not like a managed economy where you can just build more manufacturing stuff and work your way through. No, we're 60, 2/3 consumers, and enough of us get nervous, we can cause a recession. That's why the trade war is so important. That's why Powell coming in and lowering rates to help absorb the oil spike is interesting. And there's a chance that we just keep going, and this 10 or 11 year run keeps moving on. So it's going to be interesting. Always exciting looking at the headlines and sharing them with you. Let me know if you have any articles that you think I should look at. Love to get your opinions. Have questions? Leave them below. If you've watched a couple of these, please subscribe and have a great day as always. Take care.